One day, his sister asked, "Why do you talk to water? It cannot hear you." Arul just smiled, but inside, he didn't know the answer. One day, an old man from the village saw him. He slowly walked towards Arul and asked, "Do you believe water is just water?" Arul nodded, confused. The old man sat beside him. "Water is very special," he said. "It reacts to energy. When you speak with anger, it becomes disturbed. When you speak with calmness, it stays peaceful." He pointed at the river. "See the flow, it changes with every touch. Tomorrow, try something," the old man said. "Bring 2 glasses of water. To one, speak kind words. To the other, speak harsh words. And then, feel the difference." Arul did exactly that. To the first glass, he said, "You are beautiful, you give life, thank you." To the second glass, he said, "I hate you, you are nothing." After some time, he tasted both. The first one felt light, refreshing. The second one felt heavy, strange. Arul's eyes widened. "Water listens." The old man smiled. "But the real secret is this," the old man said. "Our body is mostly water. So when you speak negative words, you are hurting yourself. When you speak with love, you are healing yourself." From that day, Arul changed. He spoke kindly, not just to others, but to himself. Words are not just sounds, they are energy. And sometimes, the one who listens the most is you. So next time you feel low, speak gently, even to yourself. Because your body is always listening. Be like the lotus cherry blossom, from nothing to everything. Here was a small village. Not rich, not famous, but peaceful, full of life. Every morning, the sun gently touched the green fields. Birds sang, cows walked slowly. The smell of wet soil filled the air. In that quiet village, there was a tiny house. A broken roof, patched walls. But inside it, lived a big dream. That was Neela's home. Neela, a girl with a beautiful smile. But her life was not as beautiful. She lost her father at a young age. Her mother was everything. Every morning at 5 a.m., her mother would go to work. And Neela? Right finger she fetched water. Right finger helped cook. Right finger walked to school barefoot. No shoes, no proper bag, still, no complaints, because she had something rare. Right finger strength in silence. At school, some students laughed at her. Look at her dress, what will she become? Even some teachers ignored her. But one teacher, Revathi Miss, she saw something different. She told Neela, "One day, you will shine brighter than all of them." That one sentence changed Neela's life forever. One rainy evening, her mother returned home and suddenly collapsed. They rushed to the hospital. The doctor said, "Right finger, she needs surgery immediately." The cost? Too high, impossible. Neela stood frozen. Her world broke in seconds. That night, Neela sat alone, crying silently. Why me? But then, she remembered her mother's words. Right finger, be like the lotus. Even in mud, it blooms. Neela wiped her tears and made a decision. From the next day, her life changed. Right finger morning, school. Right finger evening, tea shop work. Right finger night, studies. No rest, no sleep, But one goal. Right finger, save my mother, change my life. Exam results day, the whole village gathered. Shock, right finger Neela became district topper trophy. The same people who laughed now stood silent. She got a scholarship. A new door opened. City life. First time in the city. Big buildings, strangers, English everywhere. She felt small, lost. But she didn't give up. Right finger library became her home. Right finger books became her friends. Right finger pain became her strength. In college, she met someone, Arjun. He supported her, encouraged her. For the first time, she smiled freely. But life tested her again. One day, an accident. Arjun was gone. His last words. Right finger, don't stop. Keep going. Neela broke, but didn't stop. Years passed. Hard work paid off. Right finger she got a job. Right finger first salary. She ran to the hospital. Paid for her mother's treatment. After days, her mother opened her eyes. Right finger, Neela, that moment, was everything heart. Neela returned to her village. Same place, same people? But now, everything had changed. Those who mocked her, now respected her. Neela didn't stop with success. She started Right Finger Free Education Center. Right Finger Help for Poor Children. Right Finger Support for Girls' Education. She became the hope she never had. Standing on a stage, in front of hundreds, Neela said, Right finger. I came from nothing, I lived in pain, but I didn't stop. If a lotus can bloom in mud, so can you. Rise, no matter what surrounds you. Because even the darkest place can grow the brightest life. Cherry Blossom.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to tell you a beautiful and heart-touching story, The Little Star Who Wanted to Shine. Glowing Star. It's a story about dreams, patience, and believing in yourself, no matter how small you feel. So sit back, relax, and let's begin this magical journey. Far away, high in the sky, there was a small, tiny star named Lumi Star. Lumi was not bright like other stars. Other stars were shining big and strong, but Lumi was soft and shy. Every night, Lumi looked at others and felt sad. I wish I was bright like them, she said. One night, the full moon saw Lumi feeling sad. Why are you quiet, little star? Moon asked kindly. Lumi said, I am too small. I don't shine like others. Moon smiled gently and said, every star shines in its own way. But Lumi didn't believe it. The wind's advice. Suddenly, soft wind blew in the Skywind face. Hello Lumi, said the wind. Why are you hiding? I am not special, Lumi said. Wind laughed softly, even a small light can guide someone in the dark. Lumi started thinking face. The dark night. One night, clouds covered the sky. Big stars disappeared behind the clouds. Everything became dark. New moon. A small bird was flying, but it got lost. Help! I can't see, the bird cried. Lumi's brave moment. Lumi was still there, small, but visible. She was scared, but she remembered Wind's words. Even a small light can help. So Lumi tried her best. She shined a little brighter than before star. Helping a friend. The bird saw Lumi's light. Oh, a star. Thank you, bird. The bird followed Lumi's light and safely reached home. Lumi felt something new. She felt happy smile. Big realization. Next day, Moon came again. Now do you understand? Moon asked. Lumi smiled brightly this time. I may be small, but I can still help someone. Moon said, that is what makes you special. A happy sky. From that day, Lumi never felt sad again. She didn't try to be the biggest star. She just tried to be her best self. Sparkles. And guess what? She started shining brighter, every single day. Yellow heart. Sparkling heart. Moral of the story: right finger. You don't have to be big to be special. Right finger. Even a small light can make a big difference. Right finger. Be yourself, and you will shine in your own way. Glowing star. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, get ready for a powerful story. The Keeper of Broken Echoes. The Keeper of Broken Echoes. The town of Perfectly Fine. In a valley tucked away from the map lay the town of Oakhaven. The people there were experts at one thing: avoiding the truth. If someone was sad, they bought a new hat. If a house was crumbling, they painted it bright yellow. They lived by the motto, if you don't talk about the crack, it isn't there. The protagonist, Elias, was a young man who felt like a glitch in the system. He felt everything too deeply. When he saw a wilted flower, he felt its thirst. When he saw an old man sitting alone, he felt the weight of the silence. The discovery. One day, while hiking far beyond the town limits, where the perfectly fine people never went, Elias found a cave hidden behind a waterfall. Inside wasn't gold or jewels, but thousands of floating, glowing glass spheres. Inside each sphere was a sound. A sob, a scream, a whisper of, I'm scared. A confession of, I failed. In the center sat an old woman named Sora. She wasn't a witch, she was a weaver. These are the echoes the people of Oakhaven throw away, she explained. They think by burying their pain, it disappears. But energy cannot be destroyed. I catch them so they don't turn into a storm that destroys the valley. The breaking point. Sora was tired. Her hands were shaking. I cannot catch them all anymore, Elias. The town is bottling up too much. Elias realized that Oakhaven wasn't happy, it was just numb. And numbness is a slow death. He decided to do something dangerous. He didn't bring the spheres back to hide them, he brought them back to break them. The Great Release. Elias carried a giant net of these spheres to the town square during the annual Festival of Smiles. As the mayor began a speech about how perfect life was, Elias let the spheres fall. They shattered. Suddenly, the air wasn't filled with music, it was filled with the truth. The baker heard his own grief for his lost wife. The mayor heard his own fear of being a failure. The children heard the honesty of their parents. For 10 minutes, the town wept. It wasn't pretty. It was loud, messy, and raw. The healing. But then, something magical happened. Because everyone was crying at the same time, no one felt alone. The baker hugged the blacksmith. The mayor sat on the ground and admitted he didn't have all the answers. The perfectly fine masks evaporated. In their place was something better: connection. Most stories tell you to be positive. This story tells you something different. Healing doesn't begin when we find the light. It begins when we stop being afraid of the dark. A heart that admits it is broken is much stronger than a heart that pretends it is whole.
The girl who waited for sunrise. Sunrise. In a small village, there lived a girl named Ananya. She was always cheerful, smiling at everyone, helping her family, and dreaming of a better life. But life didn't go easy on her. One year, everything changed. Her father lost his job. Her family started struggling even for basic needs. The same people who once praised her family slowly stopped talking to them. Some even laughed behind their backs. Ananya felt broken. Every night, she would sit alone near her window, looking at the dark sky. Tears would roll down her cheeks silently. She started asking herself, why is this happening only to me? Days passed. Her smile disappeared. Even her dreams started fading. One night, when everything felt too heavy, she walked outside and sat under the open sky. It was completely dark. No moon, no stars, just silence. She whispered, maybe this darkness will never end. At that moment, an old woman passing by heard her. She gently sat beside Ananya and said, child, no night stays forever. Even the darkest night ends with sunrise. Ananya didn't reply, but those words stayed in her heart. The next morning, she woke up early, not because she felt happy, but because she wanted to see if those words were true. Slowly, the sky started changing. From black, to dark blue, to orange, and then the sun appeared. For the first time in many days, Ananya smiled a little. That day, she made a decision. I may not control my problems, but I can control my effort. She started studying harder. She took small jobs to support her family. She stopped worrying about people's opinions. Days became months. It wasn't easy. She cried many times. She failed sometimes. But she didn't stop, because every time she felt like giving up, she remembered one thing. Even the darkest night will end with sunrise. Years later, Ananya became successful. She gave her family a better life. The same people who ignored her started respecting her. But she never forgot those dark days. One morning, standing under the same sky, she smiled and said, that night didn't break me, it built me. Even the darkest night will end with sunrise. Just don't give up before it does. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving into a powerful and mysterious story, The Lion, the Fox, and the Shadow of Fear. Get ready for a journey filled with suspense, unexpected twists, and a deep moral that might change the way you see fear forever. The King of Fear. Once upon a time, in a vast and mysterious forest, there lived a mighty lion named Leo. Leo was not just strong, he was feared by every creature. When he roared, the entire forest would fall silent. But here's the truth. Right Finger Leo didn't rule with respect, he ruled with fear. Animals obeyed him not because they loved him, but because they were terrified. Only one animal didn't fear him, a clever fox named Zara Fox. Zara observed everything silently. She believed. Right finger, fear may control others, but it can never control truth. Rising mystery, the first fear. One evening, as the sun was setting sunrise, something strange happened. Leo suddenly started running, fast, uncontrollably. All the animals were shocked. Flushed. Right finger, the king is running? From what? Zara quickly followed him. Finally, she caught up and asked, Right finger, Leo. What happened? Who are you running from? Leo, breathing heavily, said, Right finger, there is something behind me, a giant dark creature, it follows me everywhere. Zara looked back, but saw nothing. Twist 1. The invisible enemy. That night, Leo couldn't sleep. Every time he moved. Twist 1. The invisible enemy. That night, Leo couldn't sleep. Every time he moved, the dark creature moved with him. He roared at it, it roared back silently. He ran, it chased him. Fear slowly started eating him from inside. Right finger, the king of the forest, was now a prisoner of fear. Middle, the fall of the king. Days passed. Leo stopped hunting, stopped ruling, stopped roaring. Meanwhile, Zara kept observing. She realized something important. Right finger, this is not an external enemy, this is something deeper. Twist 2. The truth revealed. One evening, Zara stood in front of Leo and said, Right finger, don't run today. Stand still. Zara shouted. Right finger, turn around and face it. With fear in his eyes, Leo slowly turned, and then he froze. Right finger, it was his own shadow. Deep realization. Leo collapsed. Right finger, all this time, I was afraid of myself? Zara calmly said, Right finger, yes. The stronger the light behind you, the bigger your shadow becomes. Your fear didn't come from outside, it came from your own mind. Twist 3. The hidden truth. Zara revealed something deeper. Right finger, you ruled with fear, so your mind learned fear. You made others afraid, now your own fear controls you. Right finger, this shadow is not just light, it is your past actions. The change. Leo closed his eyes and took a deep breath. For the first time, he didn't run. Right finger, he didn't roar. He just stood still. Slowly, the fear disappeared. The shadow was still there, but it no longer controlled him. A new king. From that day, checkmark, Leo stopped ruling with fear. He protected instead of controlling. Checkmark, he earned respect, not fear. Animals slowly came back. Not because they were scared. Right finger, but because they trusted him. Red heart. Zara smiled and walked away silently. Fear grows when you run from it, and disappears when you face it. The biggest enemy is not outside, it is within you. Power built on fear will always collapse, but respect built on courage will last forever. Welcome to my channel. Time belongs to everyone, but what if, one day, time itself forgets you? What if every moment you lived suddenly disappears? Your name, your memories, your past, gone? This isn't just a story about a clock. It's about a world where time has started to break. So stay with me, because the clock that forgot time begins now. In a quiet, forgotten corner of the world, there was a small town called Valinagar. It wasn't special. No big buildings, no busy streets. Just silence and stories people never spoke about. At the center of that town stood something everyone had learned to ignore, an old clock tower. It was over 100 years old. Tall, cracked, covered in dust and time itself. But there was one strange thing about it. The clock never showed the correct time. Sometimes it would freeze, sometimes it would skip minutes, and sometimes it would move backwards. People laughed it off. Just an old broken clock, they said. And life went on. Arjun. But not everyone ignored it. There was a boy named Arjun. He wasn't like the others. He noticed things. He questioned things. And most of all, he had a habit of walking alone at night. Because for him, the silence of the night felt more honest than the noise of the day. The night everything changed. One night, exactly at midnight, Arjun found himself standing in front of the clock tower. The wind was still, the streets were empty. And then, tick, the clock moved, but not forward, backward. The second hand, the minute hand, even the hour hand. All of them began spinning in reverse. Arjun's heart started racing. This isn't normal? The first realization. The next day, everything felt familiar. Too familiar. People spoke the same words. Shops opened at the exact same time. Even small incidents repeated perfectly. At first, Arjun thought it was coincidence. But then, it happened again, and again, and again. That's when it hit him. Right finger time wasn't moving forward, it was repeating. Determined to understand, Arjun returned to the clock tower. This time, he didn't stop outside. He went in. Inside, the air felt heavy. Like the place was holding secrets it didn't want to share. After searching for hours, he found it. A hidden door. Behind it, a small, dark room. And inside that room, a dusty old diary. With trembling hands, Arjun opened it. The first line read, "Right finger, this clock does not control time, it controls memory." Arjun froze. He flipped through the pages. Each entry described experiments, failures, and one final warning. Right finger, when memory resets, reality feels new. But truth remains buried in the one who remembers. It wasn't time travel. It wasn't rewind. Right finger, everyone's memories were being erased and reset. That's why everything felt the same. That's why no one noticed. Because for them, every day felt like the first time. Why was he different? Why did he remember everything? He searched deeper in the diary. And then, he found the answer. Right finger, only the one who has lost something truly can never forget. The truth about his past. And suddenly, it all came back. Arjun had a younger sister. She used to laugh loudly. She used to follow him everywhere. But one day, an accident took her away. He had lost her, completely. The painful discovery. But now, every time the memory reset happened, she was alive again, laughing, talking, running towards him, like nothing ever happened, like she never left. Now Arjun stood in front of the clock, with a decision. Two choices. Right finger, destroy the clock. Fix reality. Lose his sister forever. Right finger or let the clock run. Keep resetting memories, live in a world where she always exists. A fake world, a beautiful lie. As he stepped closer to the clock, a voice echoed, not from outside, from the clock itself. Right finger, this is not your first choice. Arjun froze. Memories flashed, not from the past, but from other timelines. Right finger, he had been here before. Right finger, he had made this choice before. Right finger, over, and over, and over again. Hundreds of times. Each time, he chose differently. Each time, his memory was erased. But the clock, right finger, the clock remembered everything. Tears filled his eyes. His sister's laughter echoed in his mind. His pain, his love, his guilt. Everything collided in that moment. Slowly, painfully, he picked up a stone. And with a broken voice, he whispered, "I'm sorry," and smashed the clock. Silence. The ticking stopped. The world moved forward. For real. The next morning, Valinagar felt normal. No repeats, no resets, and his sister was gone. Forever. Not because he was okay, but because he understood. Right finger, love is not about holding on to illusions. Right finger, it's about accepting truth, even when it breaks you. Holding on is easy, but letting go is true courage. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share a beautiful moral story called The Farmer and the Magic Seeds. Long ago, in a peaceful village surrounded by green hills, there lived a poor farmer named Arjun. Arjun worked very hard every day in his small field. From sunrise to sunset, he watered his crops, removed weeds, and prayed for a good harvest. But year after year, his crops failed because of bad weather. Sometimes there was too much rain, sometimes there was no rain at all. Even though life was difficult, Arjun never lost hope. One evening, while returning from his field, Arjun saw an old hungry traveler sitting under a tree. The traveler looked weak and tired. Arjun felt sorry for him. He took the little food he had in his bag and shared it with the traveler. The traveler smiled and said, "Thank you for your kindness. Many people passed by me today, but no one helped." After finishing the food, the traveler gave Arjun a small pouch of seeds. "These are special seeds," the traveler said mysteriously. "Plant them with patience and take care of them." Arjun thanked him and went home. The next morning, Arjun planted the seeds in a corner of his field. Every day he watered them and protected them carefully. Days passed, weeks passed, but nothing grew. The villagers began to laugh at him. "Your magic seeds are useless," they said. Arjun felt sad, but he did not give up. He continued to care for the soil patiently. Months later, something amazing happened. Tiny green plants started growing from the soil. But these plants were unlike any other plants in the village. They grew faster and stronger than normal crops. Soon, the plants produced golden fruits that shined in the sunlight. People from nearby villages came to see the strange plants. Arjun sold the fruits in the market and finally became prosperous. One day, the same traveler returned to the village. Arjun welcomed him happily and said, "Your seeds changed my life." The traveler smiled and said, "The seeds were normal seeds. The real magic was your kind heart and patience." Arjun finally understood. If he had been selfish and ignored the traveler that day, he would never have received the seeds. From that day on, Arjun always helped people and lived happily. The villagers also learned an important lesson from him. Kindness and patience always bring unexpected rewards. Welcome to our channel. Today we are going to hear a mysterious story about a man who received a letter, not from another country, but from the future. What was written in that letter slowly changed his life forever. But the truth behind that letter will shock you. In a quiet town lived a man named Arun. Arun was an ordinary office worker. His life was simple and boring. Every day he followed the same routine: wake up, go to work, come back home. One rainy evening, Arun returned home and noticed something strange. A letter was lying in front of his door. There was no sender name. Only one sentence was written on the envelope: "Open this tomorrow morning at exactly 7 a.m. Arun felt confused. Who sent this? But curiosity filled his mind. He waited until morning. Exactly at 7 a.m., he opened the letter. Inside was a message: "Arun, today at 10:30 a.m. you will drop your coffee in the office cafeteria." Arun laughed. This must be some prank. But at 10:30 a.m., something shocking happened. While drinking coffee in the office cafeteria, his hand slipped, and the coffee cup fell exactly as the letter predicted. Arun froze. How is this possible? Second letter. The next morning another letter appeared at his door. Again no sender name. The message said, "Today at 4 p.m., do not take the usual road home." Arun started feeling scared. But he decided to listen. At 4 p.m., instead of taking his usual road, he chose another path. Later that night he saw the news. There had been a major accident on his usual road at exactly the same time. If he had gone that way, he might have been seriously injured. Arun's heart started racing. Someone knows my future. Third letter. Days passed. More letters came. Each one predicted small things. Every prediction was 100% correct. Soon Arun started depending on the letters for everything. What to do, where to go, even what decisions to make. His life slowly became controlled by the mysterious letters. Twist 1. One day the letter said, "Tomorrow at 8 p.m. you will meet the person who has been sending these letters." Arun waited nervously. At 8 p.m., he went to the place written in the letter. An old abandoned building. Inside the dark room, he saw a man sitting on a chair. When the man stepped into the light, Arun was shocked. The man looked exactly like him. Older, tired, and sad. The man said quietly, "I am you, from the future." Twist 2. The older Arun explained everything. Years ago, he had invented a way to send letters back in time. He wanted to help his younger self avoid mistakes and pain. But something went terribly wrong. By following the letters, young Arun stopped making his own choices. His life became controlled by fear. The future Arun said, "I tried to fix my life, but I only made it worse." The older Arun gave him one final letter. "Do not open this." Then he disappeared. Young Arun went home confused. For hours he stared at the final letter. Finally he understood something. If he opened it, his life would again be controlled by someone else. Even if that someone was himself. So Arun walked outside, and slowly burned the letter. At that moment he realized the biggest truth. The future should not be controlled by fear. It should be created by our own choices. Years later, Arun lived a happy life. And one day he finally understood something strange. There had never been any time machine. The older Arun was simply a future possibility, created by his fear. And the moment he burned the letter, he changed his destiny forever. Your future is not written in advance. It is created by the choices you make today. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to hear a very interesting and meaningful story called, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once there was a young shepherd boy who looked after sheep near a village. Every day he took the sheep to the hills to graze. But the boy often felt bored and lonely. One day he decided to play a trick on the villagers. He suddenly shouted loudly, "Wolf! Wolf! A wolf is attacking the sheep!" The villagers heard his cries and ran quickly to help him. But when they arrived, there was no wolf. The boy laughed at them. The next day, he did the same trick again. The villagers ran to help, but once again there was no wolf. Soon the villagers stopped believing the boy. Then one day, a real wolf appeared and started attacking the sheep. The boy screamed loudly, "Wolf! Please help, a wolf is here!" But the villagers thought he was joking again, so no one came. The wolf attacked the sheep, and the boy learned a painful lesson. If you keep lying, people will not believe you even when you tell the truth.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share a beautiful moral story called The Poor Woodcutter and the Golden Promise. This story teaches us an important lesson about honesty and kindness. Let's begin. Long ago, in a small village near a dense forest, there lived a poor woodcutter named Raman. Raman was very poor, but he was known in the village for one thing, his honesty. Every morning before sunrise, Raman would take his old axe and walk deep into the forest. He cut dry wood and sold it in the village market. Whatever little money he earned, he used to feed his wife and his little daughter Meena. Life was hard, but Raman never complained. One hot afternoon, Raman went deeper into the forest than usual. Near a quiet river, he started cutting a large tree. Suddenly, his old axe slipped from his hands and fell straight into the deep river. Raman panicked. "Oh no, that is my only axe. How will I work now? How will I feed my family?" he cried. He sat near the river and began to weep. Suddenly, the water in the river started to glow. From the river appeared a mysterious forest spirit. The spirit asked gently, "Why are you crying, woodcutter?" Raman explained everything honestly. The spirit disappeared into the river and came back holding a shiny golden axe. "Is this your axe?" asked the spirit. Raman looked at it carefully and said, "No, that is not mine. My axe is old and made of iron." The spirit smiled and went back into the water. This time, it brought a silver axe. "Is this your axe?" it asked. Raman again shook his head. "No, that is not mine either." Finally, the spirit came back with a simple iron axe. Raman's face lit up with happiness. "Yes, that is my axe. Thank you so much." The spirit was very impressed with Raman's honesty. "You are a truthful man," the spirit said. "As a reward, you may take the gold axe and silver axe too." Raman was shocked. He thanked the spirit and returned home happily. When he told the villagers about the incident, everyone was amazed. But one greedy man in the village named Karan heard the story and thought of a plan. The next day, Karen went to the same river with his axe. He purposely threw his axe into the river and started pretending to cry loudly. Soon, the forest spirit appeared again. "What happened?" asked the spirit. "My axe fell into the river," Karen said dramatically. The spirit went into the river and brought out the golden axe. "Is this yours?" Karen's eyes sparkled with greed. "Yes, yes, that is mine," he shouted. The spirit immediately became angry. "You are lying. This is not your axe. You are greedy and dishonest." The spirit disappeared with the golden axe and also took away Karen's original axe. Karen returned to the village with nothing. From that day, the villagers remembered Raman's honesty and Karen's greed. Raman continued his life happily, respected by everyone. Honesty is always rewarded, but greed leads to loss.
The shop that sold second chances. One night, Rahul was walking alone. He was tired of life. Too many mistakes, too many regrets. Suddenly, he saw a small shop. No name, no lights, just one board. "We sell second chances." He went inside. An old man was sitting there. Calm, silent. Rahul asked, "Can I really get a second chance?" The old man smiled, "Yes, but it's not free." Rahul said, "I will pay anything." The old man replied, "You don't pay with money. You pay with something else." Rahul was confused. The old man gave him a mirror. "Look." Rahul looked, and saw his past. All his mistakes, people he hurt, chances he ignored. Tears came. He said, "I don't want to see this." The old man said, "If you want a second chance, you must accept your first life." Rahul stayed silent. After some time, he wiped his tears. He said, "Okay, I accept everything." The old man smiled. He gave Rahul nothing. Rahul got angry. "Where is my second chance?" The old man pointed outside. "Go, tomorrow morning." Next day, Rahul woke up. Same life, same problems, but something changed. His mindset. Now he spoke kindly. He worked harder. He fixed his mistakes. After months, his life slowly changed. One day, he went back to that shop. But it was gone. Only one line was written on the wall. Second chance was never sold. It was always inside you. You don't need a new life. You need a new mindset.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, the day silence spoke, the hidden science we ignored. Most of the time, we listen to noise, but we forget the power of silence. There is a deep science behind it that we usually ignore. Let's find out what it is in today's video. The day silence spoke, the hidden science we ignored. In a small town, not too far from the noise of the modern world, lived a boy named Arjun. Arjun was like any other young man, always busy, always scrolling, always rushing. His mornings started with his phone, and ended with his phone. He didn't believe in old habits. To him, they were just unnecessary rules. But in the same house lived his grandmother. She was calm, quiet, and strangely powerful in her presence. Every morning, she would wake up before sunrise. She wouldn't talk much. She wouldn't rush. She would just sit in silence. One day, Arjun couldn't take it anymore. Pati, why do you just sit like that every morning? Doing nothing? She smiled. Nothing, ah? She asked softly. I'm doing the most important thing. Arjun laughed. By sitting silently? She didn't argue. Instead, she said something strange. Tomorrow morning, just sit with me. Don't talk. Don't use your phone. Just sit. Arjun agreed, just to prove her wrong. Next morning, 5 a.m., the world was quiet. No traffic, no notifications, no noise. Arjun sat next to her. At first, it felt normal. But within minutes, something strange happened. His mind started racing. Random thoughts, stress, old memories, future worries. He felt uncomfortable, restless. He wanted to get up. But his grandmother sat peacefully, like a still lake. 10 minutes passed. Arjun couldn't take it. How are you sitting like this? My mind is going crazy. She opened her eyes slowly. Exactly, she said. Your mind is always like this, but you never notice it, because you keep distracting yourself. Arjun went silent. That day changed something in him. He started observing, not just her, but himself. Over the next few days, he noticed something shocking. Whenever he woke up and directly used his phone, his entire day felt rushed, anxious, heavy. But the days he sat in silence for even 10 minutes, something changed. He felt lighter, focused, calm. One evening, he asked her again, Pati, is this just belief, or is there really some reason behind this? She smiled again. This time, she explained. Early morning, your brain is in a different state. When you wake up, your mind is between sleep and awareness. This is when your brain waves are slow, calm, and powerful. Arjun didn't fully understand. She continued, when you immediately use your phone, you shock your brain with too much information. But when you sit in silence, you allow your brain to stabilize. Scientifically, this reduces stress hormones, improves focus, and balances your emotions. Arjun was stunned. This is science? She nodded. Not everything old is blind belief. Some things are deeply observed truths. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Arjun slowly changed, not because someone forced him, but because he understood. He started valuing silence, not as emptiness, but as power. One day, something unexpected happened. His grandmother fell sick, very weak, very silent. The house felt different. That peaceful silence now felt heavy. He sat next to her, just like she used to sit. No phone, no noise, just silence. Tears rolled down his eyes. Pati, I didn't understand all this before. She slowly held his hand and whispered, now you don't need me, you understood it yourself. That was the last lesson she gave. After she was gone, Arjun didn't stop. He continued sitting every morning, in silence. But now, it wasn't just a habit. It was a connection, a memory, a science, a peace. Sometimes what looks like doing nothing is actually the most powerful thing you can do for your mind.
Welcome everyone. Today, we're diving into The Hidden Science of Small Habits, a story that will change how you live. We often think that to change our lives, we need to make massive, earth-shaking moves. But the real secret isn't in the big leaps, it's hidden in the tiny things we do every single day. Today, I'm going to share a story that reveals the incredible power of these micro habits and the science of how they actually rewire your brain for success. Let's get started. The Hidden Science of Small Habits, a story that will change how you live. The boy who questioned everything. In a quiet town, lived a boy named Kartik. He was smart, sharp, always questioning, why should I follow something just because elders say it? That was his mindset. His mother would say, wake up early. His father would say, don't skip meals. His grandmother would say, sit quietly for some time. But Kartik ignored everything. To him, life was simple. Wake up late, scroll phone, rush everything, sleep tired. But slowly, something changed. The invisible problem. Kartik started feeling tired, even after sleeping. Restless, even when sitting. Irritated, without reason. He thought, maybe this is normal. But one day, his college professor noticed him. You look exhausted, but you're not working hard. That line hit him. How do you know? Kartik asked. The professor smiled. Because your mind is tired, not your body. The first clue. The professor gave him a simple task. For 1 week, observe your daily habits. No changes, just observation. Kartik started noticing. He checked his phone within 2 minutes of waking. He skipped breakfast often. He never sat quietly. He was always consuming, never reflecting. At the end of the week, he realized something scary. He wasn't in control of his life. His habits were. The professor explained, your brain is like a system. When you wake up, your brain is in a calm state. But when you immediately use your phone, you overload it. Your brain releases stress chemicals before your day even begins. Kartik was shocked. This is science? The professor nodded. Everything has a reason, if you observe deeply. Kartik decided to try. Day 1. No phone for 10 minutes after waking. It felt strange, uncomfortable. But slowly, he noticed something. His mind was quieter. Day 5. He added one more habit. Sitting in silence. Day 10. He started eating properly. Each small change created a big difference. Day 10. He started eating properly. Each small change created a big difference. This time, he didn't question. He sat beside her. Minutes passed. No words. But something powerful happened. He felt peace. Not excitement. Not happiness. Peace. For the first time in months. His mind was silent. Tears rolled down. He didn't know why. His grandmother gently said, "Now you understand, without me explaining the truth about life." Kartik realized, most powerful habits are not loud. They are silent. They don't demand attention. They create transformation. Science behind the story. Silence right-pointing arrow reduces stress hormones. Slow mornings right-pointing arrow stabilize brain activity. Mindful habits right-pointing arrow improve emotional control. Routine right-pointing arrow builds mental clarity. Months passed. Kartik changed completely, not because someone forced him, but because he understood. One day, his professor said, "You didn't change your life. You changed your habits, and your habits changed your life." Kartik smiled, because now he knew the real secret. Big changes don't come from big actions. They come from small habits, done with awareness. What we ignore as small habits are actually the foundation of our life. The secret of life was never hidden, we were just too distracted to see it. The Old Man and the Golden Tree. The Grumpy Village. Once, there was a village where everyone was always tired and stressed. They worked all day and complained all night. In this village lived an old man named Sam. Sam was different, he was always smiling, even though he was poor. The Secret Garden. Behind Sam's small hut, there was a dry piece of land. Every morning, Sam would carry heavy buckets of water to that land. People laughed at him. "Sam, nothing grows in that dry soil. Why do you waste your energy?" they asked. Sam only replied, "I am not planting seeds, I am planting hope." The hard times. One year, a big storm hit the village. The crops were destroyed, and everyone was sad. People wanted to give up. But Sam kept going to his dry land. He worked even harder, clearing the stones and singing songs. The miracle. A few weeks later, something strange happened. A tiny green sprout appeared. But it wasn't a normal plant, it grew at a magical speed. Within days, it became a beautiful tree with bright, glowing yellow leaves. It looked like a golden tree. The villagers gathered around. They felt a strange peace just standing near it. The tree didn't grow gold coins, but it grew the most delicious, sweet fruits anyone had ever tasted. The lesson. Sam shared the fruit with everyone. As the villagers ate, they started talking, laughing, and helping each other again. The golden tree didn't just give fruit, it gave them their happiness back. One young boy asked, "Sam, how did you grow this when the soil was so bad?" Sam smiled and said, "The soil was dry, but my heart was full. If you work with love and never give up, even a desert can turn into a garden. This tree grew because I refused to stop when things were hard."
In a small town, there was a boy named Aaron. He was not poor, but he never understood the value of money. Every day, he asked his father, "Appa, give me money. For snacks, for games, for useless things." His father never said no. He worked hard, day and night, just to make his son happy. But Aaron, he spent money like water. no thinking, no care. One day, his father decided to teach him a lesson. Next morning, father said, "From today, I will not give you money." Aaron laughed. "Easy. I will get money from others." He went to his mother. She gave him money. He went to his uncle. He gave him money. Evening, father asked, "Show me the money." Aaron showed proudly. Father said, "Throw it in the fire." Aaron didn't think, he just threw it. Next day, father again said, "Bring money." This time, mother didn't give, uncle didn't give, no one helped. Aaron got angry, but he had no choice. He went outside, looked for work. First day, no job. Second day, still no job. Finally, a shop owner gave him small work. Cleaning, carrying things. He worked full day, got little money, very little. But this time, he felt something new, pain in his body, sweat on his face. That night, he held the money tightly. When he came home, father asked, "Show me the money." Again he showed. Aaron was shocked. "No, Appa, I can't." Father asked, "Why?" Aaron said, "I worked hard for this. It is not just money. It is my effort." Father smiled. He said, "Now you understand. Money is not paper. It is time. It is pain. It is life." Aaron stood silent. From that day, he never wasted money. He never asked unnecessarily. He respected every rupee. If you waste money, you are wasting someone's hard work. Maybe your father, maybe your mother. Maybe even your future. Respect money, not because it is important, but because the effort behind it is priceless. Earn it, respect it, use it wisely.
The Forgotten King Who Rose Again. Crown Fire. Long ago, in a land surrounded by mountains and rivers, there lived a king named Aravion. He was not just a ruler. He was a symbol of strength, wisdom, and justice. People loved him. His kingdom was peaceful. His army was strong. Everything seemed perfect. But sometimes, life tests the strongest souls the hardest. One night, under the silence of darkness, a betrayal was born. A man he trusted the most, his own commander, secretly joined hands with enemy kingdoms. And before the king could realize, war had already begun. The enemy attacked from all sides. Fire spread across the kingdom. Screams filled the air. The sky turned red with chaos. King Aravion fought bravely, like a true warrior. But betrayal is stronger than any sword. His army fell. His people suffered. His palace burned to ashes. With a heavy heart and wounded body, the king escaped into the forest. That night, he was no longer a king. He was just a man who lost everything. Days passed. Hunger became his companion. Pain became his shadow. Silence became his only friend. He walked through forests, climbed mountains, slept under the cold sky. Each step filled with regret. Maybe I failed. Maybe I wasn't strong enough. One evening, exhausted and broken, he found a small cave. He sat there, staring into nothing. That's when something small caught his attention. A tiny spider. It was trying to climb a wet wall. It climbed, slipped, and fell. Again, it tried. Again, it fell. The king watched silently. "Why is it still trying?" he whispered. The spider didn't answer, but it continued. 1 time, 5 times, 10 times. It kept falling, but it never stopped trying. Finally, after countless failures, it reached the top. The king's heart changed. Tears rolled down his face. If something so small refuses to give up, what excuse do I have? At that moment, the broken king was reborn fire. The next morning, he stood up with new strength. No crown, no army, no power, but something greater. A burning will to rise again. He traveled across villages, met old soldiers, inspired broken people. Slowly, a small army was reborn. Not of fear, but of belief. Months passed. The king trained harder than ever. Every fall made him stronger. Every loss became a lesson. And one day, he stood again, in front of his lost kingdom. But this time, he was not the same man. He was stronger, wiser, unstoppable. The final battle began. Swords clashed, arrows flew, the earth trembled, the enemy laughed at first. But soon, they realized, this was not the same defeated king. This was a storm tornado. With courage in his heart, and fire in his eyes, King Aravion fought like never before. One by one, the enemies fell. The traitor commander stood last. Fear in his eyes. "You lost everything, how did you return?" he asked. The king smiled. "I lost everything, but I never lost myself." With that, the battle ended. Victory was his again. The final battle began. Swords clashed, arrows flew, the earth trembled, the enemy laughed at first. But soon, they realized, this was not the same defeated king. This was a storm tornado. With courage in his heart, and fire in his eyes, King Aravion fought like never before. One by one, the enemies fell. The traitor commander stood last. Fear in his eyes. "You lost everything, how did you return?" he asked. The king smiled. "I lost everything, but I never lost myself." With that, the battle ended. Victory was his again. The kingdom was rebuilt. Peace returned. People rejoiced. But this time, the king ruled differently. With humility, with wisdom, with the memory of his darkest days. Because he knew, true strength is not in never falling, but in rising every time you fall. When life breaks you, don't stay broken. Rise, rebuild, and return stronger than ever. Fire Crown. The Two Minds. It's not about money, it's about thinking. Same start, different dreams. Arun and Bala, 2 boys, 1 village, 1 life, same school, same bench, same lunchbox, but inside, 2 different worlds. When it rained and their roof leaked, Arun would say, "Right finger, why only us? Life is unfair." Bala would look at the sky and say, "Right finger, one day, I will build a house where rain is just a sound, not a problem." One evening, a luxury car passed through their dusty road. Everyone looked at it with surprise. Arun looked with pain. "Right finger, people like us will never sit in that car." Bala looked with fire. "Right finger, one day, I will understand how to own it." That night, Arun slept with frustration. Bala stayed awake, searching the car logo meaning in an old internet center. That was the first difference. The first salary. Years passed. City life started. Both got a job. Same company. Same salary. $500. First month. Arun celebrated. He bought new smartphone, cell phone, branded shirt, t-shirt, costly shoes, running shoe. He posted photos online. People commented, "Wow bro, fire." But at night, his wallet was empty. Bala did something silent. He bought a second-hand bicycle bike, a simple notebook, ledger, one book, business and mindset. He saved the rest. One night Arun laughed. "Right finger, you earn money but live like poor." Bala smiled calmly. "Right finger, you spend money to look rich. I use money to build richness." The big crash. Life doesn't warn. One morning, company shut down. No job, no salary. Arun broke down. He locked his room. "Right finger, why always me? This world is cruel." He started living on credit cards. Stress increased. Sleep decreased. Bala didn't panic. He felt fear, but moved anyway. He took a job at a tea shop. Serving tea, cleaning tables. At night, using free Wi-Fi, learning online business, marketing, communication. People mocked, "Right finger, office boy to tea master ah?" But Bala thought, "Right finger, temporary work is not permanent life." The silent growth. Months passed, then years. Aaron's life. Job to job. Salary to salary. Complaint to complaint. Inside, he was tired. Bala's life. Learning to doing. Doing to failing. Failing to improving. He started a small online service. First income, $10. He smiled more than his first salary. He failed many times, lost money, lost sleep, but never lost belief. The unexpected meeting. 2 years later, Arun got a big interview chance. He wore his best shirt. Nervous, but hopeful. He entered the office. Big building, glass doors, AC room. He walked inside the CEO cabin and froze. It was Bala, not the same Bala. Confident eyes, calm voice, simple smile. Arun couldn't speak. "Right finger, how is this possible?" The real secret. Bala stood up, hugged him. "No ego, no pride, only truth," he said slowly. "Right finger, we both started with zero. But we didn't think the same." Then he explained. Money bag, assets versus liabilities. Right finger, you bought things that take money from you. I bought things that bring money to me. Learning versus complaining. Right finger, you asked, "Why me?" I asked, "What next?" Fear versus action. Right finger, you waited for perfect time. I worked in imperfect time. Society versus self. Right finger, you lived for others' opinions. I lived for my future. Aaron's eyes filled with tears. Not because Bala became rich, but because he understood his mistake. The change. Bala didn't give Arun money. He gave something more powerful. A book. Right finger, change your thinking. Money will follow. Arun went home. That night, he didn't complain. He didn't scroll phone. He read. Days changed. Habits changed. Mind changed. He reduced expenses. Started learning skills. Took small risks. Slowly, life started changing. The rise again. Years later, Arun was no longer the same man. No complaints, no fear, only growth. One day, he bought his first car. Not for showing others, but as a reminder. Right finger, mindset changed everything. He met Bala again, this time, not as a struggling man, but as an equal. Both smiled, because they knew, right finger, success is not money, it is mindset. Your bank balance may start at zero, but your mindset decides where it ends. Have you ever asked this question? Why do we eat food on a banana leaf? Is it just tradition, or is there a hidden science behind it? Today, you are going to discover something surprising. The banana that taught her life. Banana, a story of love, patience and hidden science. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley where the sun gently kissed the trees every morning, there lived a young girl named Maya. Maya was full of questions. Her eyes were always searching, her heart always curious. But more than anything, she loved her grandfather. He was old, his hands soft but wrinkled, his voice calm like the evening wind, and his eyes, filled with stories that time could never erase. Every afternoon, they would sit under the giant banana tree in their garden. It became their world. No noise, no rush, just stories, laughter, and silence that felt warm. Her grandfather would slowly peel a ripe banana, carefully, like it was something precious. One quiet afternoon, Maya asked, "Grandfather, why do we eat bananas like this? Is it just a habit, or is there a reason?" Grandfather smiled, not just with his lips, but with his soul. "Ah, Maya, nothing in nature is without meaning." He held up the banana gently. "This is not just a fruit. It grows towards the sun. Holding its warmth, its energy. When you peel it from the top, you are respecting how nature designed it." Maya listened carefully, as if the wind itself was teaching her. Grandfather pointed at the thin strings. "Do you see these? People remove them, because they think it is useless. But these are the veins of the sun. They carry nutrients, fiber, they are part of the fruit's journey." That day, Maya did something different. Instead of throwing them away, she ate them. The taste felt different. Not just sweet, but real. Like she was tasting the earth, the sunlight, the time it took to grow. Days turned into months, months turned into years. Life slowly changed. Maya grew up, and like everyone else, she left her village. In the city, everything was fast. Food was fast. Life was fast. Even happiness felt temporary. Maya stopped noticing small things. She stopped sitting quietly. She stopped asking questions. And slowly, she stopped feeling that warmth inside her. One day, she got the news. Her grandfather was gone. Everything became silent, not peaceful silence, but empty silence. Maya returned to her village. The same green valley, the same banana tree. But something was missing. She sat under the tree, alone. On the ground, there was a ripe banana. She picked it up slowly. Her hands trembled, as memories came flooding back. Her grandfather's voice, his smile, his words. She peeled the banana, slowly, from the top, just like he taught. She didn't remove the strings this time. She closed her eyes, and took a bite. And suddenly, that same warmth returned. Not just taste, but emotion. Not just food, but connection. In that moment, Maya understood something powerful. The banana was never just about eating. It was about slowing down. Feeling, appreciating, it was about being present. She smiled, with tears in her eyes. Because she realized, her grandfather never left. He lived in those small habits, in those quiet moments, in the way she chose to see the world. Life is not in big moments, it is hidden in simple things. A banana, a memory, a moment of silence, can heal a heart. So next time you eat a banana, don't rush. Peel it slowly. Feel it, and remember, you are growing, in your own time.
In a busy city, there was a man named Ravi. He had 24 hours, just like everyone. But he believed something strange. Right finger, I only live 1 hour a day. In a busy city, there was a man named Ravi. He had 24 hours, just like everyone. But he believed something strange. Right finger, I only live 1 hour a day. Every day, he woke up early, worked like everyone else, talked normally, lived a simple life. But there was one difference. Every night at 9 p.m., he locked his room. No phone, no noise, no distraction. For 1 hour, he did something different. He planned his life. He learned new skills. He improved himself. That 1 hour was his real life. He called it, right finger, my living hour. Days passed, months passed, years passed. Others were busy all day, but had no growth. Ravi? He was changing, slowly. In that 1 hour daily, he learned communication, he learned business, he learned discipline. Ravi started a small business. Not big, not fancy, but smart. People were surprised. Suddenly success awe? No bro, luck awe? They didn't see the truth. It was not sudden, it was built. Right finger 1 hour per day. After 5 years, Ravi became successful. Money, respect, freedom, same people came back. Now they were serious. Tell us your secret. Which course? Which shortcut? Ravi smiled and said, I didn't use 24 hours. I used 1 hour properly. Silence. He continued, everyone has time. But no one respects it. You waste 23 hours? And expect success from 1 hour. Instead, use just 1 hour daily. But use it fully. That day, they understood something powerful. Right finger success is not about doing everything. Right finger it is about doing one thing daily, consistently. From that day, some people change, some people didn't, but Ravi, he continued his 1 hour. Because he knew, right finger that 1 hour will change his entire life. You don't need more time, you need better use of time.
The magic of zero expectations, a deep life story. The heart that gave too much. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Arjun. Arjun was not rich, he was not famous, but he had something very rare. Right finger, a pure and loving heart. He believed in helping others, handshake, making people smile, being there for everyone. If his friend needed money, he gave. If someone was sad, he stayed all night to comfort them. If his family wanted something, he sacrificed his needs. People around him used to say, Arjun is the best person, so kind. But no one knew the truth inside his heart. The silent pain. Arjun didn't just give, he expected. Not money, not big gifts, just small things. Hey, thank you. How are you? A little care. But slowly, reality hit him. Heartbreak, friends forgot his birthday. Heartbreak, family didn't notice his efforts. Heartbreak, messages were ignored. Every night, he would look at his phone. Waiting, hoping, expecting. But nothing came. His heart started asking, am I not important? Breaking point. One day, after helping everyone again, Arjun came home feeling completely empty. He sat alone and said, I give so much, why'd I get nothing? Tears rolled down his face. That night, he didn't sleep. For the first time, he felt tired of being a good person. The meeting that changed everything. The next evening, Arjun went to a quiet park. He sat near a tree, lost in thoughts. That's when he saw an old man feeding birds. The birds came, ate happily, and flew away. No thanks, no look back. But the old man was smiling peacefully. Arjun was confused. He went near and asked, Grandpa, they don't even thank you. Why are you happy? The old man smiled and said, Son, I am not feeding them for thanks. I am feeding them because it makes my heart happy. Arjun stayed silent. The old man continued, if you give and expect something back, that is a deal. But if you give without expecting, that is true freedom. Those words hit Arjun deeply dizzy. The experiment, Project Zero. That day changed his life. Arjun decided, I will try living without expectations. He named it, Project Zero. Helping without a contract. Next day, his neighbor struggled with groceries. Before, Arjun would help and expect, next time, they should help me. Now, he simply helped. Smiled, and walked away. No expectations, no thoughts. For the first time, he felt light. No waiting game. He sent a good morning message to his friend Sunface. Before, he would check, seen, wait for reply, feel sad. Now, right finger he sent it, and kept his phone aside. He went for a walk. He enjoyed nature. Reply came later, but it didn't matter. Because his happiness didn't depend on it anymore. Becoming his own support. One day after work, he felt tired. Before, he waited for someone to say, good job, Arjun. Now, he told himself, you did well today. He bought himself a hot beverage, sat quietly, and smiled. That small moment felt powerful. The inner transformation. People. Days passed. Right finger, he was living with himself. Something magical happened. He started noticing small joys. His mind became wind calm. Touching his face, anger disappeared. His smile became natural. Sound of birds. Silence of evening city at dusk. Things he never noticed before. Life starts giving back. One day, something unexpected happened. Phone, a friend called him randomly. Stew, his mom cooked his favorite food. Smile, a colleague appreciated him. Before, these were expectations. Now, they became surprises. And those surprises felt 100 times more beautiful. Arjun smiled and thought, I was waiting for happiness. But happiness was already around me. The new Arjun. Arjun was not the same person anymore. Before, he needed attention. He needed appreciation. He needed validation. Now, he had peace. He had self-love. He had freedom. People started noticing his change. They asked, "How are you always happy?" He simply said, "I stopped expecting and started living." The final realization. One evening, Arjun walked near the same park. He saw the old man again, feeding birds. This time, Arjun smiled. He didn't ask anything, because now, he understood everything. He sat beside him and said, "Grandpa, I finally understood. Life is not about getting. It is about giving without fear." The old man smiled. That day, under the orange sunrise, Arjun walked home with a peaceful heart. No expectations, no disappointments, only happiness. He realized, when I expect nothing, everything becomes a gift. And from that day, he didn't just live life. Right finger, he enjoyed every moment of it. Expect less, feel more. Give love freely. Don't depend on others for happiness. Your peace is in your control. Right finger, zero expectations equals full happiness. Same eyes, different views. One city, two lives. In a busy city like Chennai, the sun rises the same way for everyone. But life doesn't feel the same for everyone. Arjun 25, IT employee, good salary, AC office, weekend parties. Ravi 24, fisherman's son, wakes up at 4 a.m., fights the sea for survival. Same sunrise, different meaning. For Arjun, I'm late for work. For Ravi, thank God, another chance to survive. The illusion of social media. One evening, Arjun was scrolling through Instagram. He saw a picture of the ocean. Caption: Peace blue heart, life is beautiful. He commented, "Bro, your life is amazing fire." But that picture was posted by Ravi. Reality? That same day, Ravi caught nothing in the sea. His family had no proper food that night. Same sea, different truth. The conversation. One Sunday, Arjun went to the beach. He saw Ravi fixing his boat. Arjun smiled and said, "Your life looks so peaceful, bro." Ravi laughed softly. Peaceful? This is survival. Arjun was confused. Ravi looked at the sea and said, "You see beauty. We see fear." The storm. One day, a storm warning was announced. For Arjun, nice, a day off, cool. For Ravi, if I don't go, we don't eat. He went anyway. That night, the sea was violent, waves crashed. The boat almost flipped. Ravi returned alive, but something inside him broke. Reality hits. The next day, Arjun met Ravi again. "Why do you still go?" he asked. Ravi looked tired. "You call it job stress? We call it life." That one line changed everything. Awakening. For the first time in his life, Arjun stopped complaining. He realized his problems were someone else's dreams. His stress was someone else's survival. He had options. Ravi didn't. A small change. Arjun decided to change. He stopped unnecessary complaints. Started helping others. Built a small app for fishermen, weather alerts, fish prices, safety updates. Slowly, Ravi's life improved. The truth. One evening, Ravi said, "We fear the sea. You take photos of it. But we both have the same eyes." Arjun smiled. "Yes, but we don't have the same view. Everyone has eyes, but not everyone sees the same life. Everyone smiles, but not everyone feels the same happiness. Everyone struggles, but not everyone's struggle is visible. Something that feels normal to you might be someone else's biggest dream." Ali Baba and the Secret Cave of 40 Thieves. Long ago, in a desert village, there lived a poor woodcutter named Ali Baba. He was kind, honest, and lived a simple life with his wife. Ali Baba had a rich brother named Qasim. Qasim was greedy and cared only about money. One day in the forest. One day, Ali Baba went to the forest to cut wood. Suddenly, he heard horses coming. He quickly climbed a tree and hid. Below, he saw 40 thieves coming with bags full of gold and treasure. Their leader stood in front of a big rock and said, "Right finger, open sesame." Suddenly, the rock opened like a magic door. Astonished face. The thieves went inside and came out after some time. Then the leader said, "Right finger, close sesame." The door closed again. The secret discovery. After the thieves left, Ali Baba came down. His heart was beating fast. He went near the rock and said slowly, "Open sesame." The door opened. Flushed. Inside, there was gold, diamonds, jewels everywhere. Ali Baba took only a small amount and went home quietly. Ali Baba told his wife. But later, Qasim came to know about the secret. He went to the cave, but he was greedy. He forgot the magic word to come out. Rushed face. When the thieves came back, they found Qasim and punished him. The thieves wanted revenge on Ali Baba. They came to his house hiding inside oil jars. But Morgiana was very clever. She found out the trick. Flushed. She poured hot oil and saved Ali Baba's life. Later, she even tricked the thief leader and defeated him. Ali Baba was safe because of Morgiana. He was very thankful. He gave her freedom and respect. Ali Baba lived a happy life, using treasure wisely. Greed can destroy your life, but wisdom can save it. Right finger, be kind and smart. That is real wealth. The boy who found a secret door. One night, when the whole world was sleeping, a boy opened a door that was not supposed to exist. And that door changed his life forever. His name was Kiran. He was just a normal boy. No big talent, no big success. Every day felt the same. Wake up, try something, fail, sleep. People around him were moving forward. But Kiran felt stuck. He used to think, why my life is not changing? One day, he lost his job. That night, he walked alone in the street. No hope, no direction. Suddenly, he saw something strange. Right finger, a small glowing door between two old buildings. The door was shining. No one else noticed it. Only Kieran could see it. He went closer. His heart was beating fast. He slowly opened the door. Inside, there was another world, Milky Way, a silent world, full of light, floating islands, strange sky. Kieran was shocked, but something inside him said, "Right finger, go inside." Inside that world, he met a person, a calm man, with glowing eyes. He said, "Right finger, I was waiting for you." Kieran got confused. "Why me?" The man smiled, "Right finger, because you are lost. And this world is for people like you." The man explained, "Right finger, this world shows your thoughts. If you think negative, the world becomes dark. If you believe, the world becomes brighter." Kieran didn't believe, but suddenly he thought, "Right finger, I am useless." Instantly, the sky turned dark, black circle, the ground started breaking. He got scared, then he changed his thought. "Right finger, maybe I can try again." Suddenly, light came back, glowing star. Day by day, Kieran started learning. Right finger, control thoughts. Right finger, stay calm. Right finger, believe in himself. Every time he improved, that fantasy world became more beautiful. But in real life, nothing changed. Still no job, still same struggles. Kieran got angry. "Right finger, what is the use of this world?" The guide smiled and said, "Right finger, this world is not changing your life. You are changing. Right finger, when you change, your real life will follow." One day, the door disappeared. Kieran was back to real life. No magic, no glowing world, only reality. But something was different. Right finger, his mindset. He started again. Small steps. No fear, no overthinking. Slowly, opportunities came. People noticed him. His life started changing. His life started changing. Years later, he went back to that same street. He searched for the door, but it was not there. Then he smiled, because he understood. He door was never outside. Right finger, it was inside me. Sometimes, we are waiting for magic, but real magic is, right finger, changing yourself. Your mind is the door. Open it.
The Boy Who Listened to the Earth. Long ago, in a small village near a forest, there lived a boy named Arjun. The village was once green. Trees danced with wind. Birds sang every morning. But now, everything was silent. No rain, no animals, no happiness. People said, nature is angry. But no one knew why. Arjun was different. He didn't complain, he observed. One day, Arjun walked deep into the forest. There, he found an old man living alone. The old man smiled. I was waiting for someone like you. He was once a great scientist. He studied nature, animals, and the earth. He told Arjun, nature speaks, but only to those who listen. The old man taught Arjun simple science. Cloud with rain comes from water cycle. Seedling trees create oxygen and bring rain. Poor animals keep balance in nature. He explained, when trees are cut, rain stops. When animals disappear, nature breaks. Arjun understood something big. Right finger humans destroyed their own happiness. The last elephant. One evening, Arjun found a weak elephant. It was the last one in that forest. The elephant looked into his eyes. No words, but full of pain. Arjun cried. For the first time, he didn't feel human. He felt connected. Change begins. Arjun went back to the village. He told everyone, we are the reason. At first, people laughed. But Arjun didn't stop. He planted one tree, then another, then helped animals. Slowly, children joined him, then elders, then the whole village. The earth smelled alive again. Birds returned, animals came back, and the elephant, it stood strong again. The truth of life. The old man disappeared, but he left a note. Science gives knowledge. Nature gives life. Respect both, and you will never suffer. Arjun smiled. He didn't just save the village. He understood life. When you take care of nature, nature takes care of you.
The Silent Island. In a future world, people live in a beautiful but silent city. Every person has a word limit, 100 words per day. If they speak more right-pointing arrow, they slowly lose senses. First right-pointing arrow hearing, then right-pointing arrow sight, then right-pointing arrow voice forever. So people are scared to talk. They use hand signs, writing boards, phone lights. One day, he sees Dr. Her counter shows, right finger 0 words left. But still, she tries to speak. Her voice is breaking. She whispers, right finger, they are lying. Then she collapses. Warning first twist, people with 0 words should not be able to talk. But she did. The hidden truth. Cavan becomes curious. He follows Dr. She takes him to a hidden underground forest shedding tree. Inside it, there is a giant machine. The truth. The 100-word rule is not a disease. Right finger, it is control. The city leaders collect unused words, convert them into energy. Use it to power a super AI brain. This AI makes decisions, controls people, keeps city peaceful. Second twist. Dr. reveals, right finger, she was part of the system before. Right finger, she helped build the machine. But now she regrets it. And more shocking, Cavan's father was the main scientist who created it. Cavan is shocked. His father didn't die. Right finger, he was silenced by the system. Cavan thinks, if he stays silent right pointing arrow he lives safely. If he speaks right pointing arrow he may lose everything. But people are living like robots. Cavan goes home. His mother acts strange. He checks her hidden room. Collision third big twist. His mother is connected to the system. She is one of the silent controllers. She reveals, right finger, we did this to save humanity. Long ago, people talked too much. Wars started, society collapsed, so they created silence equals peace. Cavan and DR plan, right finger break into broadcast station. Right finger tell truth to everyone. They fight guards. Cavan reaches the system. Cavan discovers, right finger he has saved not 50,000, right finger but 1,000,000 plus words in lifetime. Because, right finger the system secretly rewarded silent people. He was being prepared, right finger as a future controller. Cavan connects to speakers. He starts speaking. At first, people ignore. Then slowly, they listen. He talks about love heart, freedom dove, truth fire, pain crying. People start talking, crying, laughing. The machine begins to break. As Cavan speaks more, his hearing fades. His vision fades. His voice cracks. Last words, right finger, silence is not peace, truth is. The system crashes. City becomes loud. People shout for the first time in 100 years. But Cavan, right finger cannot speak. Right finger cannot hear. Right finger cannot see. He smiles. DR holds his hand. Last scene, a small child is born. On the wrist, right finger no word counter. But, in background, right finger a new machine slowly turns on. Right finger too much silence equals control. Right finger too much voice equals chaos. Right finger balance is freedom.
A beautiful Tamil New Year story. On the morning of Tamil New Year, a small village woke up with happiness. In a simple house, a girl named Meena opened her eyes early. The air smelled fresh. Outside, her mother was drawing a beautiful column in front of the house. Mango leaves were tied at the door, dancing softly in the wind. Meena, wake up. Today is a new beginning, her mother said with a smile. Meena quickly got ready in her new dress. Her father lit the lamp and prayed. The whole house felt warm and peaceful. But Meena was a little sad. Appa, every year we celebrate, but nothing changes. We are still struggling, she said softly. Her father smiled gently. But Meena was a little sad. Appa, every year we celebrate, but nothing changes. We are still struggling, she said softly. Her father smiled gently. My dear, Tamil New Year is not about what we have. It is about how we start again. Every year gives us a new chance. After prayers, they all sat together and ate delicious food on a banana leaf. Sweet, sour, spicy, and bitter dishes. Why all these different tastes? Meena asked. Her mother replied, life is also like this. Happiness, sadness, success, failure, everything comes. But we must accept all and move forward. Mina thought deeply. That evening, she helped an old neighbor who lived alone. She shared food and spent time talking. The old woman smiled with tears. "You made my day special," she said. At that moment, Mina understood something. Change doesn't come in one day. It starts with small kindness, small hope, and a strong heart. She looked at the sky and smiled. This year, I will not wait for life to change. I will change my life. And that Tamil New Year became the most special one, not because of celebration, but because of a new mindset. Every new year is not just a date, it is a chance to become a better person.
The girl who forgot herself, and found her again. Before marriage, Mira was full of life. She laughed loudly, she traveled with friends, she wore what she liked. She spoke freely, she had dreams, small ones, big ones, crazy ones. She loved her freedom. If someone asked, "What do you want in life?" she would smile and say, "I want to live my life my way." Then, she got married. At first, everything felt like a dream. New house, new people, new love. Her husband Arjun was caring, but slowly, things started changing. "Don't go out too much. Wear this, not that. Talk less with others. Why do you need your old friends?" At first, she adjusted. "Okay, it's normal. Marriage means compromise. I should understand him." Day by day, she started losing small parts of herself. She stopped going out. She stopped calling friends. She stopped laughing loudly. She stopped dreaming. One day, she looked at her old photos. That smiling girl, that confident girl, that free girl. She whispered softly, "Where are you, Mira?" Her heart felt heavy, not because her husband was bad, but because she was disappearing. She loved him, but she missed herself. One night, she gathered courage. Her voice was shaking, but real. She told Arjun, "I am not unhappy with you, but I am unhappy without me." He stayed silent. She continued, "I need some space, not from you, but for me. I want to feel alive again." That moment changed everything, not suddenly, not magically, but slowly. Arjun started understanding. He didn't control her like before. He started listening, and Mira, she started living again. She went out with friends. She wore what she loved. She laughed again. She smiled again. She became herself again. But this time, something was different. She was not just free. She was strong. She learned something important. Love should not feel like a cage. Love should feel like a home. One evening, Mira stood in front of the mirror. She smiled, not for someone else, but for herself. Arjun came behind her and said, "I didn't lose you, I just didn't know how to keep you happy. Now I understand." She looked at him, and smiled softly. Not a forced smile, a peaceful one. Because now, she was not choosing between love and freedom. She had both. A woman doesn't need permission to be herself. The right love will never ask her to lose who she is.
The water that listened. Droplet, a hidden truth about emotions. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by rivers and trees, there lived a boy named Arul. Arul was silent by nature. He didn't talk much, but he felt everything deeply. Every evening, Arul would sit near the river. He would look at the flowing water and whisper his thoughts, his fears, his dreams, his pain, everything. One day, his sister asked, "Why do you talk to water? It cannot hear you." Arul just smiled, but inside, he didn't know the answer. One day, an old man from the village saw him. He slowly walked towards Arul and asked, "Do you believe water is just water?" Arul nodded, confused. The old man sat beside him. "Water is very special," he said. "It reacts to energy. When you speak with anger, it becomes disturbed. When you speak with calmness, it stays peaceful." He pointed at the river. "See the flow, it changes with every touch. Tomorrow, try something," the old man said. "Bring 2 glasses of water. To one, speak kind words. To the other, speak harsh words. And then, feel the difference." Arul did exactly that. To the first glass, he said, "You are beautiful, you give life, thank you." To the second glass, he said, "I hate you, you are nothing." After some time, he tasted both. The first one felt light, refreshing. The second one felt heavy, strange. Arul's eyes widened. "Water listens," the old man smiled. "But the real secret is this," the old man said. "Our body is mostly water. So when you speak negative words, you are hurting yourself. When you speak with love, you are healing yourself." From that day, Arul changed. He spoke kindly, not just to others, but to himself. Words are not just sounds, they are energy. And sometimes, the one who listens the most is you. So next time you feel low, speak gently, even to yourself. Because your body is always listening. Be like the lotus cherry blossom, from nothing to everything. Here was a small village. Not rich, not famous, but peaceful, full of life. Every morning, the sun gently touched the green fields. Birds sang, cows walked slowly. The smell of wet soil filled the air. In that quiet village, there was a tiny house. A broken roof, patched walls. But inside it, lived a big dream. That was Neela's home. Neela, a girl with a beautiful smile. But her life was not as beautiful. She lost her father at a young age. Her mother was everything. Every morning at 5 a.m., her mother would go to work. And Neela? Right finger she fetched water. Right finger helped cook. Right finger walked to school barefoot. No shoes, no proper bag, still, no complaints, because she had something rare. Right finger strength in silence. At school, some students laughed at her. Look at her dress, what will she become? Even some teachers ignored her. But one teacher, Revathi Miss,